Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the PivotBoss pre-market video for Friday, July 1st, 2022. I am Frank Ochoa, aka PivotBoss. Happy Friday, everyone. This is the first trading day of the new month. This will also be the last pre-market video until next Tuesday, July 5th, as we have a holiday extended weekend here through Monday for the 4th of July holiday here in the United States. Keep in mind, we'll be doing the monthly market outlook next week, probably on a Wednesday, so I'll get that out later on after the long holiday. Alright, here's a look at the ES right here. One thing you'll notice right now is mostly narrow range price action. At the moment, we closed the quarter and the month on these lows here. Just a few days ago, price was sitting way up here and eventually closed way back near the bottom end of the range. Overall, this market right now showing a bit of weakness on the short term, showing it on the medium term, and again, hard not to see some sort of bigger test at these levels soon. The question is, can this thing bounce or stay within range here for a little while before it drops again, or are we heading to new lows outright? If you take a look at seasonality from a 5 or 10 year perspective here on the ES, what you tend to see is strength over the next 2 weeks beginning the 30th. So from the 30th, you see a 2-week move into July 14th. So not just through the 4th of July holiday, but also for a week afterward. It's one of the most bullish 2-week periods that we see in seasonality here as of late. But right now, again, what's it going to take for this market to get higher? You know, one good day up and it took the rest of the week down. So again, it really shows how this market just fails to get going to the upside. Doesn't really have any lasting strength at the moment. So it's going to take a lot to be in line with seasonality this time around. Instead, really, when you look at seasonality against the current movement of the market here, what you see is an inverse relationship. It is a mirror image of what it normally is. Normally you get the initial rally like this, and then you get the pullback like this, and then you get the major continuation like that. So it is a mirror opposite of what you would normally expect. So we'll keep that in mind. Overall, today's action right here could be rather quiet heading into the holiday extended weekend. We have seen a couple of strong lows below 37.50, at least some moderately strong lows. That has led to rallies each of the last 3 trips down there. So this is a level that's attempting to hold. We could have found the early low for the day, and we could be mostly range bound. Let's take a look here at the NQ. Again, for the NQ, both of these have now gotten key ranges after reaching that midpoint right here. So a strong bottom, strong top, and a quick reversal back to the midpoint. It's our first key range that we've had, well-defined key range, since the early major key range that developed here. And again, each of those markets have basically went and gotten that target, and that's where we are now, the 100% target. But we hadn't had another good one here to work off of. So this is a good medium-term key range to watch. The ES has one as well. And again, that's going to give us very good movement off those levels and good targets to look for. So you'll notice here, if we do rally to the upside, we got to move toward 13,455. If this thing remains bearish, as is the likely case here, it takes us down to quadruple digits. Right here, we're at 98.75. This right here is 10.4, and this is the edge from last week or 2 weeks ago. So if we fail at this edge, we may have a 98.75 trip coming up ahead to reach that 100% target. So a great key range to watch out for in both the ES and the NQ. Crude oil here up 2.6% right now. Pretty solid bounce. A hardcore turnaround each of the last 2 days. But here's where, again, a failure could occur if this is going to lead to a turn back down. You know, is this rally right here, this portion of the tail before it drops back down? And that kind of happens here pretty soon. You have these 2-day lows coming into play right there, and it looks like we've pretty much gotten there around the 109s. This breakdown level right here was 109.22. Today's high is 108.94. So right in that zone, we could still perhaps see a little bit higher highs, but right in that zone right there is about where this thing would fail. This is the previous session's midpoint right here. So if you start to fall back below that, then you start opening a path back down, and that could lead to, again, more weakness ahead after this strong lower high developed a couple of days back. As of right now, quite a bit of strength in the shorter term chart, but again, that previous support could turn to resistance. There's also weekly VWAP sitting at 109.41. All right, let's take a look here at Bitcoin. Bitcoin up 2.5% right now, but off the overnight highs. This could be an early indication of weakness to come, and it could take us into the cash open or cash sell-off here, where this thing opens next week somewhere down here. We have a very, very narrow range that it developed here. We got a downside break yesterday. Here today, a big time rally in overnight trading, and then a hard rejection of those highs. That is a failed new high in a downtrend, and a rejection of the prices in the trading range after the downside break yesterday. So this could be looking at expansion ahead. We talked about this range as being an 8 or 10 day range, however you want to define it there. If you look at 10 days here, you'll notice that we could be looking at about 10,000 points of movement, at the very least 8,000 points of movement. And where do you mark this from? Originally, you know, I mentioned that we can mark it from the edge, or we can mark it from the breakout high, or if there gives you a great failed new high, that is usually the best one to mark it from, right there on the move down. So if we mark it from today's high of 2790 and we subtract 10,000, that takes us to about 10,790. If we see a move that's more in the range of an 8,000 point move, then we're down to about the 12 and change level. So again, that last major LVN is sitting right at 12.5, which is about right there, 12.7. And then you have 10,000 and 9,300 as value down below. So this looks like it could be the early rejection that's required before we see the next decline ahead for Bitcoin. All right, let's take a look here at ETH. This one's up 3%, also seeing a rejection of the previous highs here. Price went right up to it. Not even sure it quite got there. I think it's a perfect double top, so like a tweezer's top there on those highs, exactly on the level 2 days in a row. Again, another compression here over multiple days, a breakdown, soft breakdown yesterday, a little bit of a retest here. Again, not the easiest to call that we're headed straight away down, but when you see a strong failed new high like we did here in Bitcoin, right here's a double top, we could be looking at a continuation to the downside. So right now, again, the current potential move is about 700 points, maybe as low as 600, 570. You know, if we drop 700 points from where we currently are, that puts us at 350. So that would be significant. From the high of today's range, 118. Oh, it actually looks like we got, it looks like different. I'm getting 118 here on the daily chart, but 118 high, minus 700, and you're looking at the 4+ point level. So again, that's going to be a significant drop if it goes anywhere near these upper averages. If we start to elongate in that manner, we could easily blow through 800, 900, 700 and get down somewhere a bit farther. So again, that could be significant. And the last thing is, this is the previous year's low. It's holding below it. If we're about to break down, the S25 is 488. And that's the only major level that counts against last year's range on the futures, because the next level down takes you negative. So this is going to be super significant here once we get into triple digits to see how this market responds. Alright, this was an extra long version here of the pre-market video, as we will not have another one until next Tuesday, July 5th, 2022. Again, please be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Have a fantastic holiday weekend. See you soon. Take care.